Well, Moses joined me on the desk for our first look at sports. And of course, yesterday, the Lloydminster Bobcats announcing a couple changes when it comes to their coaching staff. Head coach Gary Van Herway will return, but we will say goodbye to another familiar face behind the bench.
Yeah, and I think it was because of that result, Nairman. You had a guy, of course, Kyle Tapp, the Bobcats, of course, announcing what happened yesterday. So he was the odd man out, and considering his contract expired, they decided to part ways. Of course, Tapp did stop by our studio today to talk about the change and what's next in his coaching career. After spending half a decade involved in hockey in the border city, most recently as an assistant with the Junior A Bobcats, Kyle Tapp had aspirations of being a head coach. However, the return of Gary Van Herway signaled the end of his time with the Orange and Black.
We had a great year. Gary did a great job while he was here, and it was kind of going to be in Gary's hands whether Gary was coming back, and then if that happened, then I had to go elsewhere.
Tapp thought his time had come after Brian Curran stepped down as head coach and GM 2 seasons ago, but the Cats went another direction and hired Ryan Parent. After Parent's rocky start, Tapp got the chance he was looking for as a coach. But the board decided to go with Van Herway during the offseason, and in hindsight, Tapp saw it as a good move.
I didn't believe I wasn't ready, but it took some people to say, you know what, we're looking out for your best interest. And I realized that very quickly that there's so much more to the head coaching GM position than just the hockey stuff, and even more of it actually becomes the business communication stuff. So my goal was to work on those things.
Now Tapp says he has no regrets and leaves on good terms with the organization. Now his focus turns to his family and where his future lies.
We kind of got a deadline, and we got to sit down and sort things out over the next 2 weeks, and moving if it's the right situation for myself and the family. And we got a bunch of different options that don't even involve coaching a junior team, through Hockey Alberta, through coach mentorship, through maybe expanding my role as a skill development coach.
It's most likely his next move will be away from the city, but Tapp carries a lot of good memories from his time in Lloydminster.
From the Kenny Morrisons, who are 22 years old, down to the Jansen Leslies that are just coming up through the ranks, those relationships are forever. I'm proud of the job I did while I was here. People say leave something better than you found it, and I think I can say that I did that.
All the best of luck to him in his future endeavors. We'll move on. Of course, for the third straight year, the Canadian Pro Bull Riding Tour makes a stop in Marwayne. The crew are putting the finishing touches on the eve of the event. Organizer Justin Vold says the fans in Marwayne will be excited at the new touches added for more of an intimate experience.
We're trying to make it a little bit better every year with whatever we can do. The first year we had issues with the sound, so we brought in a different sound guy with some better equipment and made that better. We wanted to make the seating better because in the back part of the arena it wasn't very good seating, so we brought in these 2 huge bleachers, and I think it's all #1 seating this year, so I think everybody will get the chance to see the same thing and enjoy it.
Now, last year, champ John Jacobs won't be there to defend his title, but there will be plenty of great bull riders Friday night.
We do have 2-time Canadian champions Scott Schiffner, Tyler Thompson, Ty Pankwitz, Jesse Torkelson, Tanner Gerlitz. So we have those guys. There's 3 or 4 guys from Mexico here this year, 1 guy from Paraguay, 3 or 4 from Australia. So we have a really good rider roster, great set of bulls too.
The event kicks off at 7 o'clock with the pony racing, then straight to those bucking bulls at 7:30. Now back to the rink. After dominating the regular season, the Lloydminster Universal Heat continued their winning trend in the postseason, going 10-1 en route to a provincial title. Now for the next 4 days, the Heat will look to add another piece of hardware as they're in Kelowna for the Western Canadian Bantam AAA Championship. Matt Schumont has more.
After taking a 12-hour bus ride to Kelowna, the Heat got in their final practice before opening up Westerns. The team received a bit of a spark as former NHL defenseman and Lloydminster product Wade Redden made a special guest appearance.
A lot of the boys had a lot of smiles on their faces. They couldn't believe that he was out there, and it was very, very nice of Wade to come out and just show his support for Lloydminster. He's always good that way, and it was just good to see him out there.
Now in a 5-team round robin playing against teams you only see on paper, there is really no room for error with the top 2 teams making it to the finals. Plain says that this tournament is going to be a process and have to improve as the week goes on.
You want to build to the end, right? And one game doesn't win you the championship. So I think if, we can just keep getting better and better, through the whole tournament, it'll be good.
The Heat open up the tournament with a meeting against the Yorkton Terriers, and although the Lloyd bunch may be going into this game as favorites, Clayton is quick to say that they're not taking any team lightly and that this game is just as big as any other that they'll play.
We're going to have to be prepared for a big win, and it's going to take a full 19 guys to be ready to go, and it's a must-win for us, I think.
Matt Schumont, Newcap Sports.